What's going on, guys? Donovin here with another life page, and I want to talk today about this is pretty much an ongoing life page because I'm still living. So, you know, take that. Um, I want to talk about my writing career, and it's weird even saying that my writing career, but looking back, that's what it's been. It's been a career of writing songs, poetry, stories, and going through some times with that, I just didn't know what was going on. Thought I was a little bit crazy, delusional, obsessive, um, but it was all in the grand design to learn what what it was about, what I was going through, and so we'll start. I want to start, yeah, and I still remember this day. I still remember this day, sixth grade shop class, where you make the wood with the fish and the keychains and all that stuff. And yeah, my writing career. Um, that day actually was a day that a couple of things started. One kind of in the back of my mind, and one definitely it was just obvious. And it started with, unfortunately, it started with a pornography magazine where we had a last those last few minutes of class, and one of um, one of the boys brought one to school, and whipped it out the backpack. Hey guys, check this out. So for the last few minutes of class, we're all looking at the magazine, and I don't need to tell you what was in the magazine, but I'll tell you. While the pictures were on one side, there were stories on another side, and we're all looking at the magazine. And while we're looking at the pictures, I see these words out the side of my eye, and I look at the story. The story definitely wasn't content for me to understand as a sixth grader, but it was something about the words, how the story was formed, that got my attention. And I don't know why, but it just got my attention. And I'm not talking about because of the form of story it was. It's just the basics of the story and the words, how it was put together. So that snapped something in me that I can write a story. And we were all talking and looking at the magazine, and like, look at this, and look, And I was like, hold up, I'm reading a story. I'm like, you're reading a story? I'm like, yeah, I think I can write stories. And so they're like, yeah, right, you can write a story. And that kind of started it. My writing career was like, I would write stories basically upon my maturity. And basically, I would write these, good guy, bad guy stories, really extravagant um, fight scenes. Every character I had in the short stories I wrote basically was innocent in the language. You believe me, right? No, basically every character of the short story was profanity. It was cussing up a storm, and that's just where I was. That's what I thought was the thing to do, the thing to write. That was just where I was, and so I would write these short stories of these characters, and I would look up, had I would go around and I would kind of in my mind mentally think of everybody's name, all my friends and people I meet, and I write down their names, and those would be the names of my characters in my books, my short stories, and I would write them down, and I would just go off, the imagination. Like I said, one story would be good and bad guy fighting, and the bad guy would just sock the good guy so hard, that he would pretty much land on the moon. And then in the next short story, of course, I had them fighting on the moon, and the good guy, of course, not will sock the bad the bad guy back down to earth. That's just where I was, guys, with my imagination and in my writing, and that was the beginning. Just off a magazine, off a story I saw, writing the short stories of good and evil, getting people's names and kind of developing characters that way. And that lasted for about 2 years. That lasted for about 2 years writing that, and definitely wouldn't want my mother to see them, of course. But that's what I did, and um, then I got double promoted. Actually, put in my right grade to high school, and I remember this moment too, where I met this girl in gym class. We were all kind of just sitting around, kind of meeting each other and getting to know each other. And I saw this girl, very nice looking young lady. And I was like, man, I was real shy back then, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk to her. And I found out why later, but something was like, talk to her. And I remember just introducing myself and talking to her. And I just said it like I write stories. And I don't know why I felt the need to tell her. I didn't know her. And she was a story writer too. So I had my story on me and she had her story on her. And we exchanged and read each other's stories. And I was like, this girl is deep. But I don't want to write what she write because she was into the romance stuff and. But I was reading her. I was getting her vibe. I was reading it. And I was like, yeah, this. I need to get deeper in my writing. I need to get more serious. I don't want to do the profanity. And she mentioned that when she read my stuff. She's like, yeah, I like it, but a lot of a lot of cussing. And so it made me think about. It made me start thinking seriously about my writing and just getting serious about it. And at that time, being a freshman in high school and the field of, I was known by the people I graduated with from middle school, and that's all great. But from middle school to high school is that transition, and now we're in high school and yeah, we know each other, but now we're about to transform into newer people that um, you got the popular crowd, you got the not so popular crowd, you got the just trying to live by the skin of our teeth crowd, you got the artists, you got um, the secret artists, you got all these things that are coming to develop in you for these next 4 years. That hey, you got to find out what they are. So I tried out. I was thinking, okay, I wanted to kind of get more informative, so I tried out for the school newspaper to see if I can do articles, see if I can learn how to do articles and things like that, get into reporting, journalism. And I had a little bit of interest in that, and I wanted to see if it can go anywhere. I didn't get accepted for the school paper, so I kind of wandered, and then yeah, I kind of wandered. I think I kind of just stopped, took a break from writing, but stuff was storing up in my head. I didn't realize it. And so when I got to 12th grade, I met a teacher. We thought she was a student, but I told you about that in a past life story. And she kind of just, Miss Gordon she kind of just called us out. There was a lot of boys in the class, and she knew that. She played it to perfection, and I think with me, she saw that, hey, you're kind of quiet, but I believe you got something to say. Look at this. And so she, and I'm quite sure that other English teachers brought it up, but with her, it's like something that clicked that this is poetry. And I was reading, and I'm like, man, I'm vibing with this, something's clicking. And, especially with poetry, just the emotion and the thought and the expression. And that's the main thing that stood out to me is that, okay, I got something to say, just like these people do and have done. And I wanna explore that. But I think when I was exploring, I was kind of under the rules of it, the structure of it, and that was kind of a turn off. That okay, it has to be this long, or it has to be like this. And even though I like the general purpose of it, the structure of it, I just wasn't feeling it at all. And so, even though I wrote some poems, I even shared some with my mom, and my mom was like, "That's nice, but get a trade, get a job." Um, and so that kind of was a turn off too. That wow, I'm trying to express myself here, and well, maybe this isn't something. Maybe this is just. Excuse me, guys. I'm here in the rain, chilling at the park. But so maybe that wasn't a thing. Maybe this is something I shouldn't do. Maybe this is something I should just ignore. And that's kind of what I did. I kind of dabbled in it. I kind of didn't. And so